From access stacks to toy members, yeah, we break through. Unbox the fire, showcase the find. Collectors worldwide, all one of a kind. ToyLeet, we set the pace. Elite with the heat in this plastic race. ToyLeet, not just a name, we're the culture, the vibe, the collecting flame. Click, snap, pose, it's more than display. We stack with style, redefining play. Custom builds, epic drops. From stream to shelf, we never stop. ToyLeet, it's not just toys, it's legacy we stack. ToyLeet's the movement, and we're never looking back.
Oh,
Hey.
what's up, everybody?
Who the hell is this guy?
This guy? Oh,
Who is that
I'm,
guy?
I'm the Mr. Wonderful,
The Mr. Wonderful.
Travis, and you're some dude that's not around as much anymore.
No, I get called a lot of names, but I go
Not
by
around
Ed.
anymore is not it.
Yeah, I've been getting called late for dinner, man. That's the problem.
Yeah, you were on time on Saturday though. There was somebody that was conspicuously late.
Yeah,
to his own
someone kind of
party.
missed something
We'll
on
talk about
Saturday.
that later.
Yeah, we'll talk about
We'll
that
talk
later.
about that later. Yeah. How's it going, dude? How's it
Doing
going?
good, man. Doing good. Been busy.
Good
But
deal.
good.
I hear you, man.
How
I
about
hear
this
you.
weather
That is-
for September, brother, in New York? Jeez.
I got some rain last week for my grass. That's good. I reseeded.
haven't had to mow my
That
grass.
was
It's been
busy.
so dry. Not even
Oh
growing.
yeah, I hadn't had my robot mowing the grass since August. I did have it do like a run through because I just dethatched and all that fun stuff around the house to try to reseed because so much was burnt from this season, and we got a graduation party scheduled for next year for my daughter. She's
Now it's time
wrapping
to
up her
start
senior
raking.
year. Yeah, I got a little bit of time before I start raking. I'm gonna, take care of that, and I gotta let the grass seed settle in that we got down for a few weeks. So, but
How's everything else, man? How's the job?
things are good, man. Job is good. I'm enjoying it. They say that what is the saying? Hold on. Let me think of the saying for a second. But it's something along the lines of you. What is it? Here it is. Choose a job you love, and you'll never have to work a day in your life, right? So, found a job that I'm very pleased with, and I'm working, but I enjoy it. So it's good stuff, man. Very much so.
It's
enjoying
good, man.
it.
It's good. I'm happy for you.
How about yourself?
Doing good, Same old every day.
Good deal. The oldest moved out like a week or two ago, so he's settling into his place with his lady friend.
I
and
see you
enjoying
still up
life.
in the upstairs office, so you haven't done.
I am. I haven't had a chance. I keep wanting to take time, but the weather's been just like perfect enough that I can get stuff done outside.
Yep.
So as
This weather's dangerous because
time
the
allows.
problem with this weather is you're like, oh, it's nice out. I got time to worry. Don't have to worry about putting all the stuff away for summer. And of course, you want to be outside and enjoy it when it's 80 degrees out and no humidity in September. You want
Right.
to be able to enjoy it. Then
Exactly.
here the weather's going to turn overnight, right? It's going to be like
Oh yeah.
Saturday and it's going to be 75, and then it's going to be 40 and 30 for the
Yeah.
next 6 months after that. So it's like it's dangerous because
Absolutely.
you're like then you're putting shit away in the snow. And you're like, fuck, I should have done this earlier.
I'm not hoping for that. I'm hoping I can keep out of that, but we'll see. We got some stuff to do. Pools closed up, things like that. But when it gets a little bit cooler, I will be continuing. I actually just warned Son of Wonder that he needed to go clean up all of the stuff in the basement because my goal is to tackle that in the evenings and the weekend over the course of the next week or so. That way I can, because it's hard, right? Because I work during the day and a lot of times I work from home.
Yeah.
So I've got to move everything at least for my office setup, like my desk setup, all at once. Like the shelves and stuff, we can stagger
several
in,
hour
but-
block just to be able to knock all
Exactly.
that down.
Yeah, and there's so many. I got 6 monitors and all sorts of cool equipment and fun things. And I got to make sure it's all organized appropriately down there. So we'll be shifting down there shortly. Your background's changed a little bit over the course of the last few months. I noticed.
Yeah,
that.
I just shifted my chair to a different angle.
Oh, okay.
Nothing
Okay, well-
crazy. I
Yeah.
the one day about a month or so ago, 2 months ago maybe now, Luke was like,
Yeah.
let's rearrange the living room. And I was like, okay. So we switched some things around. And
Good deal. Good deal. Just adjusting some stuff on my screen here so I can see the chat, what is going on over there. But yeah, things are good in my world, man. I'll be 41 later this week.
Oh, that's
Saturday,
right. Someone has a birthday coming.
Saturday's the old man day. So
41. I don't even remember 41.
yeah, it hits. It's hard. Yeah, man. Let's check into the chat though.
Yeah, sure.
While you're getting that ready, just to remind folks, we are the ToyLeet, and this is the ToyLeet Takeover on Tuesday nights. We recently switched over to a bi-weekly, every other week show. What we do is we get together, talk toy plastic, or plastic passion as we refer to it. Ed is the host of this show, and I'm his co-host. We go through independent toys, focus on that. You want your big toy news, you go to those other guys, like a Punk with Toys and unboxing art, and there's a bunch of folks out there that do that. We like to focus on the independent toy lines and those that are in the community, so we'll definitely be covering some of those tonight. We talk about the ToyLeet or toilet segment, where we either dump flush a piece of plastic or we raise it up and put it on the collectible shelf, where we like to art, or there's a word for that, better word, I can't think of it today, but memorialize it on the shelves.
Yeah.
We also like to shout out from the Crick, which is where we like talk to like to hype up someone who's doing something cool or has done something cool in the community. Might be an independent toy creator, might be a YouTuber, might just be an Instagram photo maker, photo taker, and we like to champion what they're doing in the community. Could be just somebody who's in the chats, of all their channels. And then we always have our weekly topic where we dive into a specific, slightly different topic, hopefully. This week might be something that's fallen across a few other people's plates this week. We'll talk about that a little bit more, but we oftentimes kind of take a little different angle on things. So thanks for tuning in, and let's hit that chat.
All right. So first and foremost, we have the man himself, Ostradamus Toys.
He wasn't late this time.
He was here early this time, by a few minutes, actually.
Good deal.
Yeah, making up for Saturday. And we got, of course, Menhoza's here.
So
this guy, Dave Dimensions, who I will be seeing this weekend at Nickel City Con. He will be there with his Ghostbusters group.
Sweet.
And going Saturday with my daughter to check out the con. So I'm going to pop over to the Ghostbuster station and have a little chat with Dave, see how he's doing. I never met him in person.
That's awesome.
Now it's time. Yep. And we got the Jetman, GI Jetman's hanging out with us. What's up, Jetman?
What's up, Jetman?
And who else we got? We got Renato Guevara saying, "Hey."
Oh, I know that guy.
Yeah, we know that guy.
He might be a little savage for me though.
Yeah. And we got Plastic Skull saying, "What's up, Action and Mr. Wonderful?" And Dave, who, like I said, he lives about an hour north of me, is saying, the weather will turn on Toy like a pissed off girlfriend or wife. Yep, exactly. And we got Akxion Figs saying, "What is going on, fellas? What's up, AJF?"
Yep.
Yeah, 41, young pup. That's right.
The grays in my beard don't say young pup anymore, guys. The kinks in my back and my elbows and my hip don't say the same.
Renato wishing you a happy early birthday.
Thank you, sir.
And AJF saying 41, that was 19 years ago for him. So there you go. And we got Thor Anacosta here with us saying, "Hey guys, happy Tuesday." What's up, Thor? And Allison
up,
Troy.
mister?
Greetings, Allison. Terrence's next toy is this week's topic, 1,000 Swigs. No, it's not.
Not this week. Not this week, TNT.
It's going to be soon. We should cover that soon, actually.
We definitely do something on that. Maybe we could talk
before
TNT. We'd like to maybe have you come on and hype it up a little bit before Legion's
Con is what, like the November 11th or something like that?
It's like 6 weeks away from now. I actually had a friend of mine who was at the Jersey Toy Convention last weekend with his booth. He actually he reached out to me, I think today or yesterday, and was like, "Hey, are you planning to go to Legion's Con?" And I was like, "I don't know, man. It's we'll have to see."
I like you, yes. Am I probably going to make it? Probably not this year.
There's a lot of good people I know that are going to be there. That I'd love to meet.
I'd love to go
for the first time.
Definitely love to go.
But I just
thinking about checking it out next year if I can make it work. But it's going to take a little bit of savings because I go to Joe Fest and I end up spending, just being there for 5 days and then everything else,
Yeah,
and then I like to save some vacation for around the holidays when it's Christmas time. So it
absolutely.
makes it rough. Outsider
Maybe
Art
maybe
Den.
maybe Ed, maybe what you and I should do, we should target Legion's Con next year for sure as a ToyLeet kind of co-attempt, just a single day, right? Like just drive down
Sure.
for the day. Well, I don't know if it's a single day trip for you. It is for me. It definitely can be for me
Well,
because it's
I
only
could
about
shoot
two and a
over
half
to your
hours.
house and then we could drive down. I could just crash at
Yeah,
your place and drive back
yeah,
the
we'll
next
figure.
day. Figure
Yeah, if
something
that
out.
works,
Yeah.
we can do something like that. Yeah,
I
let's plan that out.
I sleep anywhere, man. So throw me a blanket and a floor. I'm good.
Good deal.
And we are
Maybe
not
the
Toy Tube official
dungeon.
with, yeah, maybe the dungeon. It's fine.
I'll put you to work. I'll put you to work on some stands.
Every time I go on my trips, I go on my trips that I go on once a year with my friends, right? Every time we get an Airbnb, if there's a basement bedroom, that's where I sleep. I love sleeping in basements, dude.
That's good.
Everybody's like,
Good
"Aren't you
deal.
afraid?" I'm like, "What would there be afraid of? As long as the
Good
stairs
deal.
aren't open behind them when I have to go down in the dark, I'm good. It's all good." And we
Awesome.
are Toy Tube official because no one is here saying hello, Travis, Ed, and chat. What's
What's
up?
up, man?
And let's see what else we got. Renato saying much love, gents. And yes, Terrence agreeing 6 weeks. Man, Jose saying, have you started sneezing and starting some Final Destination series of bodily pains that you ain't you ain't old
Oh
yet?
man. Yeah, I literally was out at Sam's Club last night after dinner, had to get some groceries and stuff. And we were supposed to make another stop at another store. And I was like to my wife, I was like, can you do that tomorrow while I'm working? My hip is killing me. I don't know what it was. Well, I know exactly what it was. It was the 25,000 steps I took on Saturday, or no, just on Sunday when I was finishing up seeding and dethatching and just finishing up all that work in the yard. And like I looked at my watch and it was like 25,000 steps. And then yesterday, like the hip is
Yeah.
just so sore. I've never had an
You need
issue
a,
with my hip before.
yeah, you need an oil can in that thing, man.
Yeah, something. Oh, I had my inner Hulk Hogan going on, I guess. Like, need
Yeah.
a new hip replacement, 13th one.
Yeah.
So,
Troy Dotson's here saying TT3 Troopers saying, what's up, my dudes? What's up,
what's up,
Troy?
T3?
Yeah, Terrence says if you fellas want to make it a thing, he'll definitely join for Legion's level welcome. Awesome.
Sweet.
And AJF saying he's in Texas. Yeah, so Legion's Con is a little far for him. Yeah, it's definitely not a day trip for you unless you jump on a plane early and jump on a plane really, really late. Definitely not a day trip. Let's see if anybody else is here with us. And G.I. Gemma saying, I'm going to be in the chat. I'm just working around my apartment on my world building. Awesome, Jet, man.
Oh, love it.
Glad you're here, man.
I've seen
As
you
long
doing
as
some
you're
stuff.
listening, it's all good, man.
Awesome.
And
Cool, man. So,
one more thing.
yeah.
AJF saying, I live in pain. I had 3 back surgeries the last 6 years, but doing a little better, but cold weather sucks for me. Well, it's a good thing you live out in
you don't want to
West
come.
Texas.
You don't want to come up to Legion's Con then because the cold is just getting good then.
Yeah.
So I'm looking around my office and I'm just trying to figure out, did I get anything recently? And I didn't. No. Actually, that's not. I did get. I did receive a package. It was the newest Cosmic Legion set, which I have left unboxed. I had pre-ordered it from because I did these orders like 2 years ago, right? So it's whatever the most most.
Is it the generator set and all that kit?
Yeah, it's the all-in that.
Oh, you got the all-in. Okay, yeah.
I did. Yeah, I did direct from.
Right, that's right. You bought that
when they did the pre-order.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I actually received that, but I'm not keeping it. Actually, we had a situation last year with our Toyvember, one of our sponsors that had been giving us some of the products that we were going to give away. Unfortunately, seems to be dealing with some personal issues or something. Wasn't able to get in touch with. So I worked with the winner of that prize package, and offered them the Cosmic set that was equivalent in dollars to the total prize there, and I received that. It's unopened completely. The whole package is being shipped to him, and I'm gonna be shipping it out later this week. Almost a year to the win, right? So
that's crazy. That guy was talking to us, and in our
I think there's some. I did see recently him post something, back in like April when I was
Yeah.
going back to look recently, and I noticed that he said, doing better, but dealing with some stuff in one of his posts, and I was like, you know what, I'm not even gonna bother the guy. Like, obviously, he's dealing with some
Yeah.
life struggles that are a little bit
Yep.
more
Yeah.
difficult than what I
Like,
want to deal with.
I was just saying, he like up and just disappeared. Like he talked to us basically right up until we announced the winners, and all of a sudden it was just
Yeah,
like gone. So hopefully
you,
he's doing well, doing better
yeah,
anyway. And
absolutely.
then we don't want to wish any ill will on anybody. We got it covered and everything. So
Yeah,
uh
we'll talk a little bit about the Toyvember thing real quick because I've decided just because where I'm at this year and not wanting to expend too much finances on that, we're gonna hold off on doing Toyvember this year. But I know Ed, you and I we talked about doing the Toytober or whatever it is,
yeah,
the ACB, whatever. I've actually, I think that starts tomorrow.
tomorrow. Yep.
So we should find that and share it with the group because while I may not be involved with them directly, I think it's a cool contest and I think it
Yeah.
stays in the same
Yeah, that's
Toy
the one
member
we
concept.
found after we talked about doing it, then we found them. So
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, after we launched ours, we found out about
Yep.
that one. They do it in October, so we'll go ahead and I'm gonna try to do my part in taking part in that this October.
Yeah, we'll find that link. We'll post it up on the Instagrams and
Perfect.
let
Yeah.
everybody participate that wants to. But it does start tomorrow because it's for the month of October. So,
Yeah.
I did pick up one thing. I
Oh, cool.
picked up.
Let me
Uh,
find out how to do this again. It's been a minute. Is it
I
this
don't remember
one?
the.
And
Nope, that's
then
switches.
here?
Yeah, yeah. So this is the GI Joe classified crystal ball.
Oh yeah.
Really, really cool figure. Ended up finding him at the local Walmart. He was on that display of GI Joe stuff. So he's got great face paint. He's like I got him to go with my Monster Force stuff, which I have a ass load of Monster Force shipping anytime soon.
Right,
But
right, right.
this guy, the figure comes with like an alternate head that's kind of like a monster looking like he hypnotized somebody into thinking that he's a demon. Comes with like a power effect sword. Comes with like a crystal ball itself, which is cool. And then a shield that's actually got lenticular. Whoops, let me get it
Oh,
straight
that's
up.
cool.
Yeah, straight up here. So I don't know if the lenticular is coming through, but it doesn't really have a lot of movement in the lenticular, but still pretty cool. The Hasbro did lenticular. The only thing that I think Hasbro missed with this is not making these green parts glow in the dark, because
Oh yeah.
that would have like put this figure over the top. Like the
Can
figure's
can you
solid, the stuff is solid, the parts are the accessories are solid. It's just if they were glow in the dark, it would have been like knock out of the park.
can you personally take like a translucent glow in the dark effect or something and put it over that? Would that work? Without
I
doing the
I thought
face?
about getting some of that clear glow in the dark paint and
Yeah.
putting that on there and seeing if it works. The problem with the glow in the dark paint, of course, is that it glows for literally like 5 seconds and then it's
Oh,
gone. So,
okay.
but
Yeah, I don't know much about that.
yeah, it's a cool effect. But I mean, I'm not planning on using most of this stuff except for the crystal ball anyway, so it really doesn't matter to me. And
Gotcha.
but it would have been a great thing for them to put it in glow in the dark, but I don't know
Yeah, I
why they
mean,
decided not
you
to.
I'm sure that head could look as a cool, sitting on a table or something,
Oh yeah,
in like
100%.
a dio or something for
Yep.
your Monster Force stuff for
Yep.
sure.
Yeah, that's why I got him. I figured between the spooky accessories, the crystal ball, and then just him supposed to be like a hypnotist and stuff, that he'd fit into the Monster Force pretty well. So and
Good
it's nice
stuff.
to see stuff actually at my Walmart again. That's even if it's something I don't buy, it's still nice to see some actual collectibles and stuff.
Cool.
But
Good
then
to know.
yeah, I got my notices Monday for the Monster Force to be uh,
Ooh,
hitting the bank account soon, so that should be shipping soon. And then
sweet.
yeah,
We should do a live unboxing with that Ed on one of our shows. That should be one of the
yeah.
streams. That we could do that as a main topic piece there for that. I think that'd be
Well,
cool.
I ain't holding my stuff to unbox it, dude. But we could
Well,
definitely
then
do
you
it.
better hope that it delivers on a Tuesday. If we have to shift our weeks around and that works
Yeah,
out, we will, brother.
yeah.
You'll know when it's
I'll
supposed to
know when it's
arrive,
shipping
right?
for sure. Yeah, yep,
Yeah.
for
So
sure.
if we have to lock in a different date, we can go ahead and do that.
Yeah.
Some
Brian from Las
flexibility of
Fables is
being
staying
bi-weekly.
here. Hey guys, what's up, Brian? Yeah,
Well,
I
buddy.
know. Like, I'm guessing it's probably gonna ding probably either late tomorrow or Thursday, um, for the bank, and then probably ship out with Friday or over the weekend sometime, and then I should know by Monday or so what day is actually going to deliver. So
Yeah, so if we get an early release next week, we might throw something in.
yeah,
If you get a reception, we might throw an early show in next before episode 63.
yeah,
We might have a 62 and a
yeah,
half.
yeah. Even if it's just a pop up, quick hour or
Yeah,
half hour, or whatever.
let's do
Yeah, for
that.
sure.
That'll be good.
So that's it for the
Cool.
chat, my man. But yeah, this is
Sounds
definitely
good.
going on the shelf. It's definitely not going down the toilet.
Sweet.
So
Sweet.
another ToyLeet and not toilet figure for the book.
So we'll give it that. Let's go ahead and if there's, I don't know if you have any new flag chats. I think you just threw up a couple, so I think we're
Yep,
good
Brian's the
there.
only one. So
Actually, hold on a second. I'm on the wrong slide. Stupid me. Okay, boom. There we go. Now let's go. So this week, Savage Crucible, they just set out they set the community on fire to some degree, in my opinion. With their announcement for Wonderfest Shanghai, with their Wave 4 teaser. Nothing but silhouettes and shadows for now. But tonight we're going to be pulling those images apart, figure by figure, and see what's lurking in the dark, or what we think could be lurking in the dark. From the massive center, the centerpieces, the different ideas, and then the Frazetta partnership. Obviously, they've announced 4 figures, 3 that are their own, and then the one that's associated with Frazetta. So, we'll dive into that, maybe the chat and some wild theories behind what it may or may not be. But we're gonna be breaking that all down in the main topic tonight, with our kind of predictions, and this should be a pretty savage show. So stick with us. But before we go there, let's jump into the shout out from the Crick, which
Down by the creek where the water flows, we're shouting out to those who know. Spreading joy, sharing love, ToyLeet fam, you rise above. Shout out from the creek, you're the best.
that song always just makes me happy.
it just feels good.
It's just
Should be like a Monday morning tune.
Yeah, yeah. It's one of those songs you can listen to in the morning while you're getting ready for work.
Maybe I'll release it on iTunes. People could download it and
Yeah.
stuff, and they can use it as an alarm clock. It just gets you going.
Right. Just get your heart going. Puts a smile on your face. Anyway, to the topic. Shout out from the Crick this week for September 30th, 2025 goes to Ostradamus Toys. Now, I know we've shouted out Oz in the past for the things he's done for the community and the group of friends that he's built with everybody and the things he does and tries to do for everybody between random acts of kindness and all that kind of stuff. But Saturday night was Oz's 3rd year anniversary on YouTube for his channel. The best part about all of it was that Oz made a big deal about the show being his 3rd year anniversary and wanted everybody to be there and have fun. And that little motherfucker fell asleep, didn't show up to his own show until about 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning Eastern time. So he missed the first few hours of his show, but we celebrated for him. So it's all good. It's all good. We love you, Oz. Congratulations on 3 years on the tubes. And then also for anybody that doesn't know, Oz is doing a thing for this month of October since he loves the spooky season. If you take a spooky picture and post it on IG, hashtag it with Oztober Horror, all one word, all lowercase, hashtag Oztober Horror. And then Oz will pick some pictures and feature them on Saturday Night Clubhouse on his channel. So no real contest or anything, just, he's going to grab a few and, show them off on his channel. So if you want to participate and, give Oz some stuff to show off that you want to show off, if it's spooky, horror, even if it's, silly stuff like, Scooby-Doo and the monsters and things like that, right? It's as long as it's got that spooky vibe to it. Oztober Horror is the hashtag.
Yeah, and I just want to chime in here. From my perspective, Oz has been a good dude and a good friend for, I don't know, a few years now since I've known him. Really, there's a handful of folks I give credit with, bringing me into the community. He is one of those 5 that I kind of, champion as the folks that have, right from the jump, right? There's been tons of like the group of the community or the brotherhood, whatever we want to call it, right? The ToyLeet. It goes beyond those 5, but there's initial 5 between the Hello Boys, Punk, yourself, Oz, and Jeremy Jernigan, kind of just folks that were really open to me and kind of pulling me along. He's right in there with those top 5 guys. So Oz always doing good things, and I imagine if you were to talk to anyone that has met Oz from the get-go, he's probably in their top 5 if they didn't have a presence on YouTube beforehand, right? Like, he was one of the ones that was like, hey, you're cool, like, jump in, I got your back, let me show you the ropes, and I'll
always very welcoming, always willing to introduce you to people that he knows, and
exactly
share his stuff with you. So
exactly. So that said, Oz to you, brother.
Yep. Here's to you, Oz. And real quick, Travis, before we jump.
Oh, yes, sir.
BB Gardner Palmer is saying, "What's up, mijos?" And then we got the Mr. Brick Somethings here. YouTube didn't notify me. What's up, folks? Oz is the best when he shows up.
But he's always there, so he's mostly.
It was so funny at the beginning of that show Saturday night. I was running the show for him, and he was supposed to be there. And I was like, okay, if we get 9 people, we got to limit it. But then we ended up having 10 on screen, and it was like, I guess he snoozes, he loses. Can't even join his own show because we got 10, and that's all StreamYard will let us have. It's his problem.
I don't know what time you guys went live. I strolled in at one point just for a few minutes.
I think we started at like 10:15 is when we actually launched it. We tried giving him a little bit of time, but we had him. We were calling him on Instagram. People were calling him at home. His sister K-Roll jumped on in the chat. We were like, K-Roll, give Oz a call and see if you can get a hold of him. And he's like, yeah, no one's answering.
That's funny.
Oz was out, man. He was snoring. He had a little bit too much early celebration, obviously. All you can eat.
He's probably just trying to rest the pulls all nighter. That's what he's doing. So awesome. Well, with that said, we'll just again champion you, Oz. Thank you, brother, for everything you do, and keep being yourself, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
Going next, we will jump into the news. So it's the week of September 30th, 2025, and this is the news and the things buzzing in the toy world. From brutal paint masters hitting the spotlight to Zoic's tabletop card game smashing through the Kickstarter, some Mythic Legions pre-order madness, and fresh reveals for Legacies of Mythos Wave 2. We've got all the biggest headlines covered, so let's dive into this week's ToyLeet news. First up, we've got Brutal Realm. They had big news out of the Brutal camp. The insanely talented Crazy 8 Mule has wrapped up the Paint Masters, and they were on display at Joe Lanta, the toy show. I think it was this past weekend. They were just a look, not your, with your eyes, not your hands. The factory is already moving forward with their 4 characters in production, and more will follow. If all goes smoothly, shipping is on track for Q1 next year, with backer kit likely opening around February. Once test models get the green light, Brutal fans, as they say, it's time to get excited and let's get brutal. Quick update from the Creative Beast Studio folks. They have that Zoic tabletop card game that has officially gone beast mode, as they say. The fundraiser funded in less than 10 hours. Huge congratulations to the team. All the backers, they wanted to thank them, and then, they're the ones that made it happen, really, right? So this is only the beginning, as they were saying, that there are tons of exciting stretch goals that they have on the deck. There are tons of, opportunity to grow and spread there. They want to ask the team and folks to keep spreading the word and see how far they can get the campaign to. As you can see here, just as a couple hours ago, they were at just over 30,000, which is more than double their initial goal, with nearly 200 backers and still 22 days to go. So that's a pretty good and promising direction. Very successful, I would say, just for now. But then again, keep paying attention to this. We'll keep you updated. You got 22 days to back it. If you haven't, I would definitely go check it out. Couple updates from the 4 Horsemen. first, if you had missed out on the first drop of the Legacies of Mythos, they did announce that there's some good news coming and that they have put those back up for pre-order on the storehorseman.com. Both figures are available for $55 each. And this time there will be no purchase limits. There are the exact same figures that they sold out in about an hour. I'm sorry, about 4 hours in the beginning of the week when these were first put out. The only difference is the delivery, which will be in early 2026, so you won't be getting them as quickly as maybe some of those first orders. But again, don't sleep on this because the pre-orders close on October 5th at 11 p.m. Eastern. So if you want to get a hold of these two really cool figures, I like the Orc one specifically, but if you're looking to get your hands on these, go ahead and get that pre-order in so you can get it early next year. Moving forward, with all the buzz around the Legacy of Mythos, the Four Horsemen did drop the first reveal for Wave 2, and that's the Scopahede, probably murdering the shit out of that name, but it's the Greenbone Skeleton Sorcerer. It's an updated version that comes with a brand new ruin carved head, tons of accessories, spell effects, and removable belt, some extra hands, and premium wired soft goods as to be expected from the folks over at Four Horsemen. There's you can get excited about this because there will be two versions, a standard release coming to Store Horsemen next year, so you don't miss out if you don't go to Legions Con. That said, the Legions Con exclusive will be loaded with extras, including a green skull and a set of bone wings. Pair that with the green zombie heads from the other Legions Con exclusives, and you'll got yourself some cool army building figures for the Ghost of Karamor, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Again, Legions Cons goes down in 2025, November 8th and 9th in Whippany, New Jersey. I believe there are still tickets available, but you'll want to check that out. They also announced a second figure, and it's none other than Sir Valgard, the Dwarven warrior from the Order of Etherion. Again, there'll be a standard release on storehorseman.com in 2026 and a special Legions Con 2025 version. Again, the standard version will come with a new head, an alternative undead head, number of other accessories, and then the Legions Con edition will take things a bit further with some additional bonus armor parts that let you build out the soldiers he commands, known as the Valgard. That includes a knight helmet, pauldrons, lower arms, hands, and full armored legs, as you can see in the screenshot above. Again, November 8th and 9th, Whippany, New Jersey, Legions Con 2025. That's it for this week's news. Not much else that I'm going to cover this week. We may have more, but this week's topic being that of the ToyLeet Takeover, Savage Crucible, What's in the Shadows, focusing on some news out of the Savage Crucible group. We withheld that from the weekly news, and we'll dive into that in the main topic. But before we go there, Ed, is there anything in the chat? And I did want to kind of go back on one of these screens and point something out. So I'm going to... Oh, shoot. Good call, man. That makes sense.
I think we should just do a show in a couple months or a week, maybe like right before Legions Con, we'll do a show where we just have a character with its name and we just see how bad people butcher the name.
You mean just me? Just
you
me.
Mostly, yes, but
yeah,
it'd be fun, right?
For sure. I'm the worst.
Well, you're not the worst because you know there's a guy on Monday night who can't read English, let alone.
Yeah, so this is the other item I wanted to cover. I didn't want to cover it in the news clip, but I did want to go back to this. If you guys recall, there was a target goal, and this is not me picking on Brutal Realm. This was more something we called out from the beginning. We did not expect people to see these in hand in 2025. Yeah. We had a very strong belief that they would be out in 2026, and that we would be extremely shocked if we saw these in 2025.
Yeah, when they launched, though, that window was just shy of 12 months when they made that? After
they were
ended.
It was last year in 2024. I'd have to go look at when they closed it, but it was in 2024 if I recall. And the goal was that they were going to get them out in mid 2025. Right. Again, I said from the get-go that was probably highly unlikely. Yep. I will give them credit if they are able to land in Q1. I think that's still pretty good considering other ones, and throwing in everything everyone was dealing with the with the tariff stuff this year.
Yep.
Nobody knew that was going to be an issue. So,
Yeah.
that's definitely, something to be considered. But
Without the
again,
tariffs and all that, they might have made it, right at the end of this year. But
it
even
would have
this
been a
year was
stretch.
pushing it. It was still pushing it. So
Yeah, that's
we
that's
do
the
have
way
a
I felt.
yeah, we do have a couple of things in the chat. I'll bring
Yeah,
this
let's
up.
hit that up.
Action Joe Fig saying, Ed, you are such a nice, cool dude. Thanks for all you do for the community, brother. Thank you, AJF. I appreciate that. I try to help out where I can and, be a positive person in the chat, even though I'll tell somebody to piss off if need to, but
I just need to take over for a second, Ed. Did you just pause the main topic to self-promote what you do good around here? That's fine.
right now I'm doing my Randy Orton pose, but you can't see it.
It's all good, brother.
And Brick something saying, asking if you're back in the Zoic card game. He's in for 2 decks. Him and his kid have been playing the One Piece card game, and the game mechanics of this seem pretty cool. Yeah, so Brick was playing Saturday. I was laughing because he left the clubhouse to go play the One Piece card game with his kid. Comes back and says, "Yeah, I kicked his ass." I was like, "Yeah, good. Teach that kid a lesson." Then, like half an hour later, he comes back in and says, "Well, I got my ass kicked on the second game." So I don't know if they had a championship afterwards or not, but yeah.
So, Brick, I would consider going in if you have full commitment to do a live stream game against me virtually here on one of our shows, or we could simulcast it, but only if I have somebody to play with.
I know who was on the clubhouse Saturday night. There was a couple people on the clubhouse Saturday night that were talking about getting it and actually playing, virtually over the internet. So
if we've got people
doable.
willing to do that,
yeah. And Brick saying
perfect.
Even with the tariffs, Brutal Realm Figs hitting before the end of 2025 was definitely a Hail Mary. And Brian saying he saw these in person. With the delay, they were saying March. They want to get these to the people. Yeah, I saw them at Joe Fest and I talked to the guy. They're not like they're not taking any shortcuts. They want to make sure they deliver the right product at the right time, and
and
that's it's the way to go, right? You don't want to just rush it to meet some deadline you threw out there to begin with. I'd rather wait till even March of 2026 and get a figure that I get and be like, holy shit, this thing is amazing, as opposed to doing something like getting the fist figures, that although that was an experiment in itself, just because of using a toy factory in South America and all that stuff, right? I hope they go back to the drawing board and tighten things up, and those figures could be really, really good. But I'd hate to see Brutal Realm do the same type of thing, where they, come out with subpar product and, lose fans in the process, because it's going to be a cool line once it all gets rolling.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that I wasn't being critical.
I know you weren't. I know you weren't. I was just saying, like,
going back.
Brian saying he saw him in person. I saw him in person. They are looking good, and those guys are putting some effort into those, designs and all that stuff, So
yeah, I think the two pieces, and I'm not saying you or anyone else is saying it was critical, but if anybody else comes and clips, I want to make sure that they recognize that it's not us being critical of it. It's just
like you said,
what we kind of expected from the get-go.
You and I both said it as soon as he got done with that news clip in mid 2024 or whenever it was, and they said mid 2025. We were like, that's going to be really pushing it to get it done. So
yeah, absolutely. So that said, if we're caught up on the chat, and I did see Brick, you said that's what you were thinking, dude. I'm in. I'll go take a look at it later this evening and see what I can swing for sure. Especially when
I think the one deck is $40 or something like that. So
okay, seems reasonable.
The small buy-in is like $40. So
I would definitely consider that for sure. Awesome. So jumping into the topic this week, ToyLeet fam, it's time. Savage Crucible stepped back into the spotlight, this time dropping some cryptic silhouette lineup photos that they're going to be previewing at Wonderfest. I think this weekend. I might have my dates wrong. I know Brick knows when it is, but I think it's this weekend. And if there's one thing we love around here, it's tearing into the shadows and trying to guess what's lurking inside. So tonight we're going to kind of do a deep dive and break down the teaser, talk about the predictions for Wave 4, maybe what we want, what we need, what we think. But let's sharpen our blades and dive right in. Ed, from you, first reactions. When you saw the teaser, did it give you hyper frustration?
I I like the hype, right? I like them teasing a little bit, knowing that they're gonna have reveals soon, right? They might do one figure at a time or whatever it is, right? But I love the hype stuff, right? Like I like having the opportunity to be like, oh, that looks like it's gonna be, a humanoid type of creature. That one definitely looks like it's gonna be a human, warrior of some sort. And like the Frazetta thing, I can't even figure out what Frazetta angle they're going to go with because, it's just so many that they could do. And
I agree.
the Warrior with Ball and Chain was a phenomenal figure. That was my first Savage that I bought at Joe Fest this year. And I know you've been on the Savage Crucible hype train for a long time, and I kept putting off buying one. And I bought that one, and then I bought the Shunned, whatever the hell his name is. I'm drawing a blank on his name. Krieger the Shunned. Krieger the Shunned.
Yeah, Krieger is an awesome figure.
And
man.
I bought the Warrior Battle Pack to go with them. And man,
Yep.
I mean, they're two of my probably favorite barbarian type figures that I have.
Oh,
right now.
Oh, and that's not even talking about. Oh, what is it? Give me 1 second. I want to make sure I say the name correctly. They freaking announced, and I haven't even. We don't have them. I'm trying to get them, and I'm going to kind of champion everyone else out there. If you have access to it, please let me know. But they have the brothers.
Yep.
What are they called?
Yeah, you forgot to bring those up in the news.
Yeah, well, we were driving into this. I've been so focused on the stuff they haven't announced. But there's what is this called? It's why can I not think of the name? What the heck? They had a whole promo on it and everything. Yep. Jeez.
Yeah, those
they're the brothers, though.
Yeah. You still got to buy two, but they have enough pieces to make two different characters with them. So.
Yeah, well, you can make them like separate and unique type of thing, but I can't think of what their names are.
Yeah, I can't either. But yeah, those guys look badass too. But those are going to be con exclusive, right?
So they're I believe they're available at Wonderfest.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what is this? Why can I not? Varnox, that's what they are.
Yeah, Varnox.
The Varnox. So the Varnox, which I don't have pictures in here, those are ones that I did not pull in for whatever reason, but they have tons of parts and accessories, and those ones, for those, I believe they're available as a con exclusive at Wonderfest. I also know that they're going to be at the Titan Tennessee Expo that they're doing in a couple weeks or a few weeks, whatever. If there's any, my cousin lives about an hour away from the venue. I've asked him if he can retrieve these two for me. If there's anyone in the chat watching this, reach out to me directly on Instagram. If you're able to get a hold of a 2 packs of these, let me know. These are 2 figures that I'm very, very interested in getting, and I'm not sure my cousin's going to be making the trip. If he does, I'll let you know. But if there's anybody else going that wants to, help a brother out, I'd much appreciate it. That said,
did they put a price out on those yet?
I haven't even paid attention to it.
I'm going to guess probably $55.
Well, they're like deluxe because they have so. I mean, I feel like they're like a deluxe or a larger package.
Yeah, they're almost 2 figures. Yeah, so
I have no inside information.
Brian will be there.
What's that?
Brian says he'll be there.
Oh, Brian, dude.
Brian
I actually messaged him.
$50.
I actually messaged him.
Yep,
he and I have been in talks. I think he may be trying to get some stuff. I'm probably
going to get one of them. So Brian, I might hit you up to grab me one. So
yeah. I've reached out to him and others. We'll talk. If there's other people, I don't want to burden anyone. So if somebody's already committed to others, that's fine. If there's something we can work out, please do let me know.
Yeah.
If otherwise, what I will say is on that figure, that set, there's a picture floating around that they have for their promos, which show kind of like a mirrored ab crunch tattoo, which suggests to me that there's 2 unique core bodies. I believe from the video I saw on their show last week and just what I've seen them themselves comment in the things, I cannot. They're too good about what they post to not have purposely put that out and then ignored the question multiple times in chats as to whether or not that is going to be an added piece that's in the packages. I don't know if it's going to be randomly inserted or if it's one of those behind the map type things where they drop like a blind bag and it's going to be like a unique ab crunch that you can pop off so you can have the inverse ab. Or if they figured out another way to do it. Either either way, I expect that you're going to need 2 figures if you want to have them both. That said, let's dive in a little bit more to the specific Wave 4 release. Sorry, Savages get me all hyped up and I get all over the place. The main topic tonight's about the Wave 4 speculation. We know what they've announced already. First up, we have this image, right? This is the image from Savage. This is the original one, right? It reveals 3 figures here. It's the full teaser image that set off the community, at least in my eyes. It's a whole squad lined up, but the shadows only with a glowing centerpiece. Glowing pieces with, each one highlighted in a slightly different color. You've got your blue, your reddish pink, and your yellow. I'll talk about that briefly in a minute. But, it kind of teases that makes you stare way too long to decode it, right? So I've been looking at this. Others have been. But Ed, gut check, right? Which one looks coolest to you just from the shadows right here?
I am really interested in the one up front that's got like the purplish pink, I guess, color around it. It looks.
So you're saying the center. So the centerpiece?
Yep, the center
Yeah.
one. I think like the guy on my speculation right now, just by my first glance, is the guy on the left is going to be some barbarian type human character, right? And the guy on the right in the blue is going to be maybe a Lumerian type character. The guy in the center, I have no idea. So that's why I'm like really like he looks like he's on a smaller frame, right? And the way that sword is, it could either be an actual curved wavy blade or it could be a power sword, some sort. And then just the outline of like his head, is that a headpiece or is that just crazy hair? What is going on with that picture? So that's what's got me hyped up about that centerpiece.
Awesome. Good deal. I'm like yourself. I'm very interested in the centerpiece because, like you said, I feel like just looking at it, it's very difficult to tell. But I believe the one on the right, and we'll talk about each one of them independently in a moment as we go through and kind of dissect. But a couple things I see here is the one in the center looks the most unique to me. Though I have a slight suspicion that each one of these is a buck that already exists. I don't know that any of these are going to be a new buck. There could be. But I believe that the one on the left, like you said, is probably a human. The one on the right in the blue kind of, glow is Lemurian-like. We'll dive into that a little bit more. And then the one in the red, pink, whatever color that might be, seems to be a little bit smaller. And I think from just this picture, my initial consideration is it's not... What are those ones called? It's whatever the one that you got that I'm holding for you right now.
The Jaeger?
Yeah, that's what the Jaeger buck. It looks like it could be the Jaeger buck, which is a little bit smaller than the male, human figures, and it's definitely not that. So I think they're all completely same bucks that we've already seen.
The other thing though is it being smaller, they could have modified one of their college athlete figures that they're doing to modified that buck a little bit, made it work.
I haven't seen those at all, so I don't know. I mean, in person, so I don't know.
They are smaller than like the human characters, right?
That's interesting.
I don't know how much smaller because I didn't see them side by side, but just by looking at them at the booth, from booth at Joe Fest, they definitely seemed more like built like a classified figure style, right? Collegiate athletes.
It's possible. It's definitely possible.
I'm not saying what they did. I'm just saying it definitely looks like it's a smaller framed figure. And because companies want to make money, reusing bucks is the best way to go. So they could have easily taken pieces of that buck, the torso and the legs, and modified it to work, right?
Okay. So one of the things, and this is a weird piece that I'm going to cover later, just make note of the color glows around each of them. I'll cover that on a future slide because there's that like detective, like there's something more behind those colors, right?
Which is something Savage Crucible likes to do, right? Like when before they even launched the whole Kickstarter, they had that, the compass and the coins and all that, stuff to figure out the decoders. Yep. Yeah,
exactly. So going in a little bit deeper, we're going to focus on the left side. That's the green or yellow highlighted one, right? There are a few shapes that really kind of stand out. The bow, quiver, one of those. Yep. I mean, that's what it looks like to me. Over the top, which we haven't seen yet, I don't think. I tried to think back when I was prepping for this, and I don't think I've seen that just yet. But is that one there? Am I right? I don't know. I think I am. Savage Crucible likes to
That's hard to
expand.
say. Yeah, that's hard to say if that's a quiver or like a double sword, on his back type of setup, right?
Yeah, yeah, it's possible. Could be a new faction, could be unrelated to the other pieces that we've been exposed to already. So, not 100% sure. Oh, sorry. Let me go back one slide real quick. One of the things I do want to cover here, and this is a broad assumption I've made. I believe the 3 figures we've seen here do not contain the Frazetta figure. I do not believe the
No.
Frazetta figure is shown in this preview. I believe that is separate altogether and has not been alluded to just yet, outside of the fact that they have declared it is coming. I believe these are 3 figures associated to the unique Savage Crucible world. Maybe
I
it's
would
an
agree with
IP
that.
unrelated that we haven't heard that they're pulling in, like they've said they might do in the future.
Right.
I don't know that to be true, but I do not believe we're seeing a shadowed version of the Frazetta figure. Diving back into this slide here. Net new? Do you think it's a net new figure, net new buck, or do you think it's something we've already seen? You kind of hinted on this already.
I believe it's either going to be a human type character like we already have, something different, like, with
Yep.
that human buck, or it's going to be another creature like the Jaeger, which is humanoid but still a
Yeah.
creature type of character, right?
Yeah, it could be the Jaeger legs. Like
Yeah.
maybe it's got a smaller, thinner looking calf.
Yeah.
You can see like a boot wrap here and what looks to be like a boot. It
And it's
definitely
hard to
looks
say
to
with this
me
picture,
humanoid.
right? I mean, those legs look thin for that upper body, so it might just be the
Right.
way the shadow was, the picture was
Yeah,
taken to shadow it out, right? This is the angle and everything.
absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
looking at
Can you
the
pull
looking
can
at
you pull
the
up one of the comments real quick? From Endless Fables, where he
which
talks
one?
about, he says one in the front.
One on the front is a dino type creature. One to the right is a wave 3 type figure. So that's definitely a human figure. Or the
Yeah.
Jaeger, I guess, because those both came out in wave
Right. Wave 2
3.
figures.
Yeah. And then in the one in the front is a dino type creature. Okay. That makes sense with the way the head's shaped. So
Oh, okay.
the barbarian could be.
But like he also says that the one on the right, which I'm not highlighting right now, is a fish. It could be the wave 3 type figures, which are the fish ones, which would be interesting because we haven't
Yeah,
even
but those
seen
ones
those
look
yet.
really hunched over, though.
I know. But when he said that, I saw it and I was looking at the image and I was like, he might be onto something.
Yeah, it's
But
possible.
that said, I think that this one is going to be a wave 2-ish figure with maybe some unique pieces to it. I do not think it's a new buck. I think it's probably a combination, of some set of pieces from the wave 2 package. That's my thought. Maybe we get something a little newer. Maybe we get some more, fur like.
Yeah.
I think there may be Therians or something, if I'm right on the name. The next one we're going to dive into is the one on the right, right? So this one's interesting. It's a silhouette that looks like some stuff we've seen before, in my opinion. This is previous to reading Brian's comment, but I saw this as being much more Como figure
Yeah.
that we've seen before. Maybe a reuse of some of his stuff. Maybe another type of reptilian. I mean, he's got that claw-like hand. Definitely has a weapon that similar to what we've seen in some of the barbarian packages, or maybe even some of the other
I can
add-on
definitely
packs from Wave
see
1.
where this one, now looking at it closer, could be one of the fish people. And Brian's saying
Yeah.
he's seen those fish people about 6 times in person, so he has a pretty good idea what they look like. So I could definitely see the one on the right in the blue being a fish dude, which makes sense because it's blue, right? Blue is water.
Yeah. 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 And then I'm like, I wish I had my packaging for my Crucible figures to compare against the boxes, because the boxes all have these colors on the different armors, and now I need to go look, and now I'm like checking my cards to see. Got me thinking. I don't have any fish cards, obviously. They haven't had them out yet. But sorry, I'm like diving in here deep in my mind. But that said, I was leaning this one towards much more Como and the reptilian figures. Ed, what was your initial thought on this one?
I was definitely thinking Lumerian when I saw that character at first, but
Yeah,
I
see,
wasn't
and
even thinking about the fish people because I haven't seen them like in a lot of pictures other than because no one has them out yet. So
yeah, now I'm side scrolling over here on my side to look up Savage Crucible stuff so I can see some of the other, because I want to see those fish people again, because the reason, and Brian, or I don't know, Brick mentions the fishtail or whatever. I don't see that as a fishtail. That to me,
that
because
looks
again,
like
we
a
didn't see any
loincloth hanging down.
fishtails. Well, and the loincloths I've seen on most of the fish figures are much more like fabric cloth ones,
Yeah,
and they look like different than that. That right there looks very much like the same loincloth that Como wore, I believe. I
yep.
may be mixing up my figures, but generally speaking, I think that's
I was
what it
thinking
was.
Lumerian because the skinnier legs, the clawed hand, and then I figured that was that loincloth because the Lumerians had that longer like loincloth that hung down pretty far.
Yeah.
But I could definitely see the fish thing in its upper torso now too. So
Yeah. So it's definitely like it's got me wondering, right? Like
yeah,
it definitely has me wondering for sure. And it's making it a little difficult to
Brian says
fully
he
digest.
guesses it could be a horny toad too, and that fits well with Brick's comment. Fishtail boo. Oh well, spiky penis next time. So we got a horny
I
toad with a spiky penis.
so okay, that's interesting. So I just found something that I missed as I was doing some of the research on here. So I'm gonna have having to share this screen later, but I'll pull over to this as we wrap up. Sorry, try to stay on topic here. So I think that you felt it like myself was more reptilian,
Yeah.
Lemurian, something, right? Going into the center one, right now, the center, right? This might be the star of the show, and the reason I say that is because it looks the most unique as far as a mold that we've seen in relation to anything that we've gotten in hand today, and anything we have seen confirmed. The fish people, the Death Dealer, Elric, the Bash brothers there, whatever their
Yep.
names are, I forgot them,
The
but
Varnics.
those guys, yes. This one looks smaller. You said it right off the bat, right?
Yep.
I was thinking this could be a brand new buck potentially, but maybe just a brand new upper torso. I'm not sure. But what I do see is there's a whole bunch of stuff happen up at the head that I haven't really seen before.
Yeah.
I know Brian mentions maybe dinosaur related kind of. I don't think that headpiece reads dinosaur related to me at all. I think it's like hair or pieces tied up. So it's just interesting to me there. But the weapon stands out a lot to me.
The weapon is definitely wild. Like I said, with the black dot image, you can't tell if it's actually a steel blade that's designed in a wave or is it, one of their
It's a
like
wooden wizard
translucent
stick.
energy blades or,
It,
what
it,
is.
it, it makes me think maybe wizardry. Maybe like it honestly makes me think of like Willow,
Well,
like the movie.
with the wild hair and if the blade is say energy, it could be like a witch doctor type looking character, right? I mean,
Yeah, yeah. So that's interesting to me. Now let's take it to we kind of covered these three. Can we? I
yeah.
mean, I think we and even the chat can probably all agree these are the three Savage Crucible figures,
Yeah.
non Frazetta.
Yeah, before we head
Releases
to
we're gonna wait
Frazetta,
for.
let's just hit the chat real quick because there's some
Yeah,
comments
please.
related to these three. So, first of all, Travis knows the most intriguing part of the reveal for me was the spiky penis on the far right. Yes, Brick and his spiky penis. We know what Brick has got on his mind today. Yeah, me and Travis were talking about those new Zezre barbarian type figures. Those look badass. The Viking characters for sure. Brian says that he thinks that they mentioned the price at the show would be 50, maybe more later. So that's awesome.
Okay.
Mudor Station Ian's here saying, Mana, what's up, Ian? Thanks for stopping in, brother. And read all those from Brian already. Read that one from Brick. Brick saying he could see mixing and matching across the waves to maximize the reuse for sure. I mean, they got enough parts now, especially if this is really a third buck that's smaller. Um, like they did with the albino Lemurian and the Viteris Rapix. And Brian saying, okay, so now I remember someone saying something about Como armor. So they must be using Como armor in there. Brick saying
That's what it looks like to me.
Yeah, they need women in the line, and Ian saying we all need women.
So let me cover the women in the line. I'm not sharing anything that everybody else doesn't know. I have no inside information, but if you're a part of the Savage Crucible group on Facebook, there have been comments made by I'm pretty sure, and again, I may be misspeaking, but it might be Rob, the creator of Savage Crucible, or one of the people behind Savage Crucible, and the Savage Crucible Facebook account, where they were responding to people in the chat, in the messages and threads, saying that sometimes you spend more time working on something to perfect it, in those words, like something along those lines, when the women figures were mentioned, and also some other types of figures. So that left me thinking, okay, well, maybe these aren't. I originally thought this one was a female figure. I originally did think that for sure. But that was some of the comments I've seen in those public threads on Savage Crucible's group on Facebook. If you're not on it, go check it out if you're on the social media, because it's a cool place to see a lot of the stuff up front.
And Jetman saying he's really excited to get his dungeon playset.
Oh, that'll be cool.
Yeah. And Brian saying to Brick, these don't look like women I'd want to meet, Brick. I'm married anyway, but, Brick says, oh, I'm not saying they're women. I'm saying I'd love to see them hurry up and get a woman. Yeah, it'd be nice to see what they come up with for a woman design. I'd like to see them come out with one of the Frazetta girls, not Frazetta girls, the company, but come out with a representation of one of the females designed by Frazetta. That would be really cool. Because
absolutely,
the Frazetta girls and the other ones doing some of the Frazetta stuff, the female characters are all right, but I'd like to see one that comes out like the Warrior of Ball and Chain. It's not like a total recreation of that artwork, right? It's a figure that represents that artwork. Whereas like the Frazetta girls, when they did what's her name from the Dark Wolf story with the Panther. I can't think
of the name.
She looks just like
mobile, right?
Right. Yeah. She looks just like the character from the cartoon. And that's cool, but it'd be cool to see someone do that type of character that's more inspiration from that artwork, representing it as opposed to a direct copy.
Agreed. Yeah.
Because Frazetta did some amazing artwork of female barbarians and stuff like that. So
yeah, and kind of going into Frazetta figures, right? They've been bringing legendary art to plastic, right? They've will it be a deep cut? Fantasy continues to enter, Savage Crucible from different IPs, right? We know that Frazetta has the partnership with Savage Crucible, or Savage Crucible has the partnership with Frazetta, better yet. We already know that they've brought us the Ball and Chain figure. We know that they're bringing us Elric. We know that they have Death Dealer on the way. So really, what's next on the horizon for Frazetta Library? It seems to me, as we've already alluded to, that we haven't yet got a glimpse of the silhouette or what might be previewing from Frazetta. Savage Crucible doesn't always follow the obvious path, though. They might opt for something more obscure from the archives, perhaps something. I did a bunch of research, right? I was using GPT, I was using Google, I was trying to find what maybe could be in this realm. I will say, I'm not as well versed as others in what is part of the Frazetta Girls versus Frazetta Museum, what's accessible by which. Yeah. So the ones that I listed, not knowing all of that, was the Mongol Tyrant, which I believe is like an image that is supposed to kind of be replicatable or related to potentially Genghis Khan-ish like type character. I've also seen things like the Night Stalker, maybe even Snow Giants.
Yep.
That said, Ed, for you, if you could choose just one Frazetta design that would be part of Wave 4, transformed into plastic first, what would your choice be? And maybe it's a female, since you kind of already led to that.
I would love to see them do a female, or since you brought it up, Snow Giant would be badass. I would love to see Savage Crucible will come out with like a big ogre giant type character, right? The figures that they've made so far, the human style figures, are so amazing and incredible with the way they articulate and pose and
Could you
hold their
imagine that
weapons.
tech on? Oh man.
If they just increase that to a bigger scale, like a 10-inch figure, oh my god, I'd be all over that.
Oh goodness. Could you imagine? So that said, I don't follow. I won't say that I follow Savage Crucible and Harbinger Studios better than anyone, but I feel like I stay current on all of the streams that Rob posts on, that the rest of the group's on. I really try to stay close to it to know what's possible. I go back to and Brick, he knows because we've talked about this when we first heard inclinations that they may be, they were going to potentially partner with another line, right? And that would end up being the Almighty Legends, right? I think that's the one.
Yeah.
And there was that agreement on that, right? We talked about that on the same show that they hinted towards that. Some of the things that Rob, the creator, had suggested was, they could bring in the Savage Crucible, the way they built that lore. You could bring in a figure from anywhere, anytime. Go read the comic if you haven't. The first one, at least. The second one, I'm sure, is even better. I don't know. I haven't seen it myself. I've got to order it. But you have this lore and this way to bring any character from anywhere in the world. I mean, like, you could bring the Terminator in if you wanted to, kind of through the way this lore works, I think. That said, I hope that's not the case, because I'm all about my fantasy weapons, not like guns and stuff. But they talked about things like Beastmaster's character. They talked about Hercules. They talked about all sorts of different characters, right? So, like, this is the Frazetta, which is the IP that they have announced that they have. I think at one time they alluded to having other IPs, in the pipeline for this line. We haven't seen that yet. I don't know if one of these other figures may be that or not. But what I do know is that they did say they aren't looking to, like, mounts, right? They're not looking to, do a mount. Like, Four Horsemen, from my understanding, they do the horses, they do them well. Why try to, like, redo the horses right now?
Right.
And they're already a vendor, a venture out there that's successfully delivering on those. People are extremely pleased with, and they don't know that they couldn't. At the time, what was stated was they don't know that they could do better, or that
Right.
whatever they do take on, they want to make sure what it is, they're able to do it better than what's on the market today.
Right.
So I don't think we're going to get like a horse for maybe Death Dealer. I know there's a competitor out there in another line that's doing something
Loose
like
Collector's
that.
doing the Death Dealer with the horse.
Right. But it's like
that's like
very, very
350 bucks.
expensive.
Yeah.
Right.
350
Exactly.
bucks.
So I don't think we're going to see that. I kind of put together my top kind of picks, which you can see here. I did some research, right? And I believe if I have them correctly, let me go back to my notes here. These are, oh goodness. I believe the one on the far left is, where's my note here? I believe it was like, maybe that one's the Against the Gods, or that might be, it might be a different one. But that one was referred to as the against. I think it was the Against the Gods. But then you have the one in the middle, which is the. I believe that's the. Oh, what was that one called? Sorry, I had it on my previous screen. That's the Night Stalker, I believe, is that one right there in the middle. I believe that's Night Stalker.
Yeah.
And then the one on the far right is the Frost Giants, right? Like,
Yeah.
I feel like. I mean, I don't know exactly who that is that they're fighting, but that almost looks like the Ball and Chain guy to me. I could be wrong.
Yeah, I don't remember. I haven't seen that art in a while, so it's hard.
I
can't
googled
remember.
it. I was googling trying to find what I could. Right?
Yeah.
Oh, Brick, you little jerk!
Hold on a second. Let's
And
hit,
Endless Fables, you jerk too.
let's
You
hit
guys
the
are a
chat
bunch
real
of
quick.
freaking jerks.
Jeff from Skunkworks is saying, "Yo, what's up, Jeff? Thanks for stopping in, brother." Wraith Mace is here. What's up, Wraith? Long time no see, brother. What's the Barbarian could be a Frazetta figure. They are very specific in the lizard types. So the front one is probably a lizard, just not a head sculpt they have revealed. Just don't know that lizard. Okay, that makes sense for the front picture. Crawl. always mentioning Krull. I would love to see
Yeah.
Krull.
I don't know enough about it. I heard it's a movie and I gotta watch it. I just haven't gotten to it.
I got some fun info, but I'm sworn to secrecy. I do too, Brick. Yeah, screw you two. That's
I
all
hate
it
these
is.
people.
Yeah,
I
fuck
hate them.
Fuck them guys.
Um,
Richard Ramirez is the Night Stalker. Yes, Terrence. That's right.
there's there was a couple other ones I saw on there, right? I don't, I mean, if it's a female, maybe it's the cat girl, maybe it's the jungle queen.
Yeah.
I saw some of these on there. I also saw things like maybe Manape.
I mean, the Frazetta catalog is so huge. It's hard to
Yeah.
really say. And right now they've done, the Warrior Barbarian, which is a classic Frazetta type thing. Death Dealer was a huge Frazetta art. Eric Melnil of Melnil, whatever the hell his last name is there. Elric is a great looking character with a lot of armor. So they could go any direction with.
I will be right back, Ed. Give me 1 second.
Sure. Brick saying to Terrence, yes, he is. Terrence lived through that in LA back in the day. Wild times. Yeah. And yeah, Brian, Frazetta is got a huge library of art that he's done and IPs that he's done from, a lot of people don't know that he did like werewolves and, vampires on top of all the barbarian and Viking, inspired art that he did. Tarzan. Now, I'll tell you what, if Savage Crucible came out with a kick-ass Tarzan figure, I would be all over that. I love the Tarzan lore. And it's been a long time since we've seen an actual Tarzan figure that was, exciting. I was just watching Tarzan. What was that movie from the Lord of Greystoke from back in the 80s? That was a great Tarzan movie. And I loved the other one that came out within, I don't know, like 2020, 2019, something like that. And oops, hold on. Can they do Manape legally because of Marvel? If it's under the Frazetta IP, yes, they could do anything that's under the Frazetta IP that's owned by this part of the Frazetta group. Like Travis was saying, Frazetta's library has been split, so it's hard to say who owns what without really doing a deep dive. And AGF saying he would love a Johnny Westmiller one. Sure. Yeah. The library for all of these characters that Frazetta did is just so vast. It's hard to say. They could reuse some parts and make it, or else they could come out completely new.
Sorry about that, man. Apologize.
Don't know Elric. Are there any key characters from that might be coming? Just Elric.
Yeah. I'd have to dig more into his story of Elric.
If you want to know about Elric, go ask Matthew Matson. I read the book.
There's some cool graphic novels out there on it too.
Yeah, I read one of the books many years ago when I was a young lad, but I don't remember anything about it other than when I saw the character, I knew what it was. But Matthew, of course, is
right
smart, so he knows a lot of things.
Sweet. Awesome. Sorry about that. Just had an issue with my dog, so I had to take care of that. My apologies. Next, what I did here was, moving on specifically from the Frazetta line and what it could be. There's a ton of options there, but you'll notice here this image has been a little modified. This was some insight shared by Brian Sons on Facebook. He's part of Savage Crucible group. He illuminated the details for a more clearer view, kind of trying to remove the shadows. So you'll take note of some of the nuances around each of the figures, right? The figure on the left, again, continues to resemble that of a male wielding what appears to be a bow. You can see, like, he has what looks to be more individual, like you can see it under here a little bit better. These look to be individual arrows. Here it looks like he's got like a sheath for some sort of sword on here. It looks to me a little bit like he's got some sort of neck garb here around him, some sort of maybe necklace, or almost like makes me think of the Fire and Ice character.
Yep.
What he came with kind of reminds me of that a little bit. Then you'll notice that The figure on the right displays more claws, lizard-like features. You can see it's lightened and highlighted even more. You can see here, to me, what looks to be more Komo's armor. You can see almost the lizardy patch skin
Yeah.
here.
That's
And the
definitely not
feet.
a spiky penis. Now that it's a little
Right, right,
clearer.
right.
Sorry, Brick.
It's definitely the front. It's definitely the front of that loincloth. What I will say is, going back to the fish theory, when I look closer and you have this highlighted version, to me again, that does not look like the fish to me. It still looks more lizardy to me. And then what this looks like is actually, it looks like one of the armor packs that we saw as an add-on, which kind of is like that same kind of armor that one of the original Wave 1 packs come with, which is like kind of like a bulked up piece here, very similar to stuff that I used with one of my modified
Yeah.
Como figures. But again, different weapon that I think maybe was in an extra pack. So this one definitely still I'm leaning towards being more related to the Lemurian or whatnot. Though I will add and preface that a lot of folks in the chats have said that they don't want to do any more Lemurians right now. They want to kind of split some things up a little bit. So some folks have suggested that maybe this isn't a Lemurian and maybe it's one of the tiger characters.
Brian's saying here, right? He doesn't think they would do anything that has been done in the past. I mean, obviously they have to keep doing human characters, right? That's a main thing. But they could easily take that Lemurian style body and make it a different type of character. Same with the fish, right?
They've done the blood red. Like
right.
I've seen people do custom Lemurians and stuff, and they've done it as blood red and different characters. I don't believe this is a reissue because they were very strongly opposed to stating that they wouldn't do that, especially from the Kickstarter ones. And their goal is to release new figures.
What? They've done lizard heads and snake heads, right? For the Lemurian bodies.
I'd have to go through and look at all of them, but yeah, for the most part.
Yeah, I think they've done. Oh, they did that one dinosaur head too, right? With the frill. Was that?
Yeah.
So I mean, there is some different types of reptiles that they could do
have
that
the
won't be Lemurians, but it's still that same style buck.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, I just keep looking at that, and that's where I land on those. I really have that's what that one suggests to me, and then. The one in the figure, it really doesn't offer much more clarity to me personally, other than it just continues to echo. It's a smaller build, buck, maybe.
Yeah.
I originally thought this was a human female. I don't think that any longer. What I will point out here is that you can see the hilt, if I'm using the right terminology, for the sword. It's like the handle here, and you can see a ball to it. So it's very much so some sort of sword from what I can tell. And you can see the other hand is reaching over, so it looks like it's a double, the
way that looks in this picture, it looks very similar to how Thundar the Barbarian's power sun sword was created. So it had like that a basic hilt with an energy blade. So that'd be wild to see something like that. The character itself does not look anything like Thundar the Barbarian would, but not saying that it isn't, but the head doesn't lend itself to that at all. Kubla Khan left. Yeah.
Who is that?
Brian, who's Kubla Khan? I know the name, but I can't think of it right now.
Oh, I got it. So it's a Frazetta art figure.
Yep.
So,
Brick saying, they've done that albino Lemurian, the Repax thing, etc. Then they did the twins reusing the human stuff. I think it's wholly possible Wave 4 is still reuse, maybe with some new pieces. Well, that's what I'm saying. Wave 4 is definitely going to be reuse of the Lemurian body. That's what that looks like. But it could be a completely different style head, right? It could be, a different paint job. They could throw spikes on its back or whatever. It looks like a Chris knife for sure. But like us with that hilt, I don't know if you remember Thundar's Sun Sword, but that hilt looks like Thundar's Sun Sword, and that's how they always drew it with that wave to it. But yeah, that's definitely looks like a longer Chris knife.
And I was just finding my whatever this guy's name is. Yeah, you're looking at him. His knees look thinner. Has this wider base for the leg here.
Can you bring yourself
like
up
that.
full screen, dude?
Oh, yeah, let me do that real quick.
So everybody can
So,
see. That's me. That's you.
so going back to the image, when we show it back, it's got this thinner. I feel like that front character in the center has this thinner
Yeah, he definitely has a thinner leg area for sure.
leg, and you'll notice that it has this joint here, and then you notice that it's got the much thicker calf muscle and coverage for the boot.
Yeah.
So if I go back to the where is it? The main screen here. You'll notice kind of that same. I feel it's that area here,
Now,
and here.
with that figure being in the front and with forced perspective and stuff, I mean, there's nothing saying that it's actually a smaller character as far as the
Right.
height goes, right? It just looks
Right.
smaller in the image. So I mean,
Yep. And if you look down towards the right here, where I don't know if you guys are seeing kind of like highlighted here, but if you look here, you'll notice that there's some artifact off to the right here, which also kind of echoes the knife holder spot that Jaeger has also.
yeah.
So, I mean, I think this is...
And, they could easily
you're wrong.
reuse that Jaeger buck with the furry skull.
And one of the other things I'll say...
Put a different type of head on it, right? I mean,
yeah, I have not read the Jaeger inspired graphic novel that recently released, so I don't know the artwork that's in there. I don't know if there is another character that this very well could be, so I am missing some context behind that it could potentially suggest to be too.
Yeah, with the purple outline Jetmans, it definitely could be a dark saber for sure.
So let me share another screen. I'm going to stop sharing and share something else real quick. So give me 1 second. We'll come back to that in a second. I want to go to... Oh, hold on. I need to do it in here. Give me 1 second. Sorry, guys. This is something I want to take a deeper look at real quick. So... if we go to the Savage Crucible site, wonderful site, by the way. Renato, you did a great job. Scrolling down, if you recall earlier, I highlighted that these characters that we are looking at, right, they are highlighted in different colors.
Yep.
Each one of these groupings has different colors. You've got your pinkish red.
Yep.
You've got this more yellow. You've got this gray. You've got this more greenish. And then you have more of the blue, right?
Yep.
So, and then you also have your more darker red, more blood red. And then you have like this gray. And then you have the Saurian, so it kind of all like links to a different groups and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So if you take that into consideration, I feel there is a very clear hint to some of that imagery that we just saw. So let me stop sharing again, but that makes sense, right? Like what I'm showing you there, Ed,
Yeah,
and where I'm kind of going with this. So then let me go back and share this. So going back, right? And this isn't the best picture, but if we go back to the original, you have your blue, you have your red, and you have your greenish yellow. That
It's not
directly
sharing.
correlates. Huh?
It's not sharing on the screen.
You're not seeing the screen? I'm seeing it. I'm
There
seeing
it
it
is.
shared up on the
Now it's
YouTube and
there.
everything.
Now it's there.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. So
I don't know if it was me or if it was just in general, but yeah, it took a while to load up.
Gotcha. So
All right.
I think that looking at the original colors, I think it leans towards the
I would agree.
Merwad, the water insignia. I think that would be the bluish one. I think the one up front would either be your Wild Draconus one, which I don't know what that ties to. Seems more deadly. I don't know enough about it. And then the one off to the left being that kind of yellowish green color, right? Would either be Faces of Darkness or the Stalwart Standard. The Stalwart Standard's the dwarf groups. The Faces of Darkness are your goat-looking people and, darker things. So there's definitely, I don't know if that ties, but it's some theories that I've been bouncing around as I've been looking at this.
I mean, that makes sense, right? That they outline them in certain colors for a reason. Whether that
Exactly.
ties back to the factions or not, it's hard to say. I mean, they could outline them just to separate them from everything else, but it seems pretty intentional with the way Savage Crucible does stuff.
Right. Why didn't they do it all in different colors, right? Like,
Right.
why wouldn't they all do it in the same color? Like,
Right.
why wouldn't they made it all match the Savage Crucible logo, which is bright yellow, right?
Right. Yeah.
So it's very interesting to me, their approach. That said, now what I want to do over the next several slides, we're going to take and browse through some concept art that had been previously accessible on the Savage Crucible site, which I happen to have saved on my computer for some random reason many, many, many months ago. And I only know that it is no longer available on the Savage Crucible site because I didn't know I still had it on my computer. And I may have reached out to someone and said, hey, did this come down? Is this not available on your site? And this person said, oh, yeah, we had to take that down. I don't know why. I didn't get any insight. I didn't want to bug the person and ask why it's not up there anymore. But luckily, I have a whole bunch of this stuff still stored on my drive.
Because you're
And I was
insane.
able to. I had to retrieve it. Well, because I was using it for something. I think we were going to do a show before, and I didn't
Yeah.
use this stuff, so I had them. So as we take a look, you can see some more serpent-based figures, right? Some additional ones. You have the one, you have some warrior. You have the hybrid warrior, which is a little bit different. You have the one on the middle, which is a hybrid veteran, which to me, when we say hybrid, just for full understanding, the way I understand hybrid, that's the Como style Lemurians, right? Whereas, that's not necessarily, the Royal Guard. It's not the Virtus Raptus. It's not those guys, right?
Right.
So this would be very much so kind of tied to the hybrid, or at least my interpretation of the hybrid, which is what Como is, right? Half human, half whatever he is, Lemurian, right? I believe that's what it is.
Yeah.
So that makes me think he leans towards that, which if that's the case, the armor that we have seen used by Como directly correlates to, some of this here. And obviously this is concept art. They may have changed what this looks like. I don't have any of the original Como concept art that I was able to find or retrieve, so I don't know if that necessarily goes. But the hybrid veteran kind of seems like maybe it could be. Maybe they want some different weapons or something. But I think that could be it. And then you also have the serpents, General Savra, and actually Endless. That's a great point, right? China themed figures. Where are they announcing and previewing some of these?
Yep.
Right? Could be really tied into where they're going to be.
Very valid point.
I originally, and I'm just trying to get my screenshots open on my other screen here so that I'm speaking accurately from my notes. But I originally, looking at the original promo and the shadows, I thought for a second that General Savra was going to be one of them because of the twisted weapon, right? Like that.
Oh,
And
yeah, he's
then
got the also type sword.
before we saw the lightened version of those darkened ones, I thought this could be potentially the guy on the left because of the fact that the top of the head had like a weird kind of shape to it. So I thought that was a possibility. But these are three. Any of these would any of these be your choice if you were looking to get a figure?
I mean, any of those guys are cool looking, right? And Savage isn't going to disappoint with whatever way they paint them and design them. You know what I mean? So it's like,
Yeah.
Now that I have them in hand, and I'm not going backwards because that's just an expensive endeavor. But like the stuff they put out next, right? Like I want to get one of the twin brothers, right? I don't need two of them, but I definitely want one so I can build my own type of character, right?
Oh.
But
Yeah.
right, like these characters, if they were to release one of these type of characters, I'd definitely be picking it up, right? They look awesome.
Absolutely. And I think I'll add one of the things about those brothers, the whatever they starts with a V. The Vardock, thank you. They, I believe, are using the same skin tone as the ball and chain, which
Yes.
none of the other Wave 2 figures use the same tone.
Yeah.
So that's a great thing.
Cool.
Well,
it's really cool
I would be,
because if they release enough, I don't want to see like a ton of human characters, right? They've done enough creatures and enough, now where they can do a couple of, they could do a human character every wave, which is fine. But like,
Right.
it's nice now that they have two different skin tones. It'd be nice to see them add like a third one, like, African American skin tone or
Yeah,
something, or,
absolutely.
more tan, um,
Yeah.
or, darker skinned character, right?
Yeah.
It'd just be nice to see something like that. But it gives them a lot more options. I think that's one thing like Brutal Realm has done well is they've released, three different, skin shades or whatever you want to call them, right? On their first several characters, right? They got African American, they got white, they got like an in between type of character look, right? So it's definitely gives a lot more. So even because like with barbarians and stuff like that, right? Most of their skin is showing, so it's like you don't want to have a bunch of guys that all look the same build, same skin tone, just different
Right.
heads, right? Like
Yeah.
you could put two of them together, sure, but you have 3 or 4, 5, 6, they all start to look exactly the same.
The easy re-release or alternative release of that buck and reuse of that buck would be focusing on, like you said, right, an alternative race. Sorry, I'm just grabbing some stuff that just fell on my floor, but an alternative race of figures, that
Yeah.
would be the easiest and probably likely cheapest way to go for that.
Right.
What another way to get those barbarians would be an additional buck, right? Like a smaller, leaner, or larger buck,
Yeah.
which I think
I would
is
love
more
to see them
costly
do
effort.
I'd love to see them do like the slate type of characters in a human body,
Yeah,
right? Just put a loincloth on them with some boots and call it good, right? Throw
kind of
something.
like the Brutal Realms did, right?
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yep. And that's the thing for now. For the time being, I have those Brutal Realms coming at some point soon. The next year that will have the alternative size there. That
Yeah,
said,
Brian's saying the guy that's on the left looks like the Frazetta Kublai, not on this picture, but on the
yeah.
main picture from Savage Crucible. I can
Oh yeah,
definitely see
yeah.
it. Yeah.
Next, some additional concept art here. You've got the greater minion of the abyss Sharkoid. That one would be awesome. I think that looks so freaking cool when I saw that concept art. But I don't think it's likely. I feel like that would require a completely larger and more unique buck.
Yeah,
And
they
I just
could do
don't
that
see
on the
in the
fish body
previous.
though. With the way that piranha head sits on that buck, they could definitely
Yeah.
do that.
And if that's, I mean, that would be awesome. I just didn't see anything in those shadows that would do it. I'm just really previewing some of the concept art that
Yeah.
I was able to, pull in.
The
The
snake dude
Serpent
looks
King.
awesome, man. That's
Yeah, and that
so cool.
sword's got a twistiness to it, but that image does not suggest that it's a snake
Yeah.
like that.
No,
And
no, no.
I don't know that they would release something like that right now, because Four Horsemen just did something like that, right?
Right.
So I
And
don't know that they would want to
Master of the
necessarily do
Universe
that.
did as well. So
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that. The one on the right, I think is awesome, especially if they like have that removable head. You can throw on another head sculpt, but like almost human with armor and stuff. I think it looks cool. The Anvil Daon or whatever his name is.
it looks
That would be
a
cool.
lot like Elric and a lot like the guy from the last wave. I can't think of his name. The one guy you showed me that I had the helmet with the horns that came up really high.
Oh, Nashor,
Yeah, Nashorn. I mean, it's very
the
similar to that, right?
disheartened guy, right?
Right. I mean, of course, the armored guys, there's only so much you can do with armors as far as,
Right,
just making them look a little different. But
right,
yeah, the one in the center, very Indonesian with some Thai influence too. Yeah, for sure.
yeah. And that, like
Where,
as Bible says, where they're releasing those figures.
yeah, this
These
is
guys that
this
know
is
too
top
much.
secret concept art. No one can get anymore. Travis just
Right.
saved it.
Yeah.
But I could definitely see that Sharknoid figure being that one on the right in that picture. They said,
mean, dude,
the blue ties to water, right?
Oh,
And
the claws.
yeah, if you look at the claws,
Oh
and then
man.
if you take the fact that if it's based on that piranha buck, that piranha head would be easily replaced with a shark head, easily.
And if you look at the center of it, there is one little single spike right above the top of the head, like maybe it's the shark. Dude, I'm getting too hyped up that
Yeah.
would be it.
And then
There's
if you
no
look
way.
in,
There's
if you
no
look in the
way.
back, it looks like he's got a tail, which would be almost like a spiky penis.
and they could have just omitted that to not completely give it away. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, we don't know that we don't know that they haven't hidden something in these
Right.
images to
Yeah.
not give it all away, right? Like, because
100%.
a big shark's tail would definitely, suggest something. But oh man, if that was it, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
Man, that would be a freaking monster right there, dude. Because, and actually, Wave 4, the Minion of the Abyss, right? Like, you have the what's the other one of the Abyss? It's the character with the throne and stuff from Wave 3,
Oh, the
right?
Chulu or whatever his name is, right?
The
one that
Harbinger
looks,
of the Abyss.
yeah, Harbinger of the Abyss, the one that looks like
Yeah.
Chulu.
I mean, that would be. I mean, it seems like if you're gonna do that and you're trying to line, but I don't know. And Brick in his
Spiky
spiky
penis.
penis. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. So yeah, those are cool. The next ones here are some different ones. You have the Forge Master Arion, kind of wizardy, and then you have the Forge Master Lithos.
Did your screen
and then
change? Because it's still the same one on my screen.
my screen changed. How about now?
I'm not seeing it, so it could be on my end. Maybe it's not coming through. I mean,
it never changed.
When are they?
It never changed on the other one either. So hold on.
When is the Shanghai show this weekend?
Yeah, second and third. Let me know if you guys are seeing my screen.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, cool.
Oh,
Awesome.
that wizard elf type dude on the left is pretty badass.
Yeah, so you got the Master Arion, you have the Forge Master Lithos, and you have the Forge Master Pyre. The one before I dug so deep into it, that's the one I thought we were getting. I thought the front and center figure was this one on the right. I thought it was Pyre. I thought, maybe they just alternatively went with a different weapon for the hand, but it looked thinner, smaller. They didn't have the cape showing, but that hair at the top being kind of like all over and stuff, and kind of being very thick around the face and neck. I thought maybe it was that kind of cloak. That's the one I originally had it pegged to be. I don't think I'm at, right at all on that, but that's what I was leaning to originally.
Yeah, it's definitely it looks like it'd be a thinner buck style figure for sure.
Yeah. And then, I would love these guys in the center. I think he looks cool.
All this concept art would be awesome. I mean, they're all great looking.
I hope we get it all. I hope we get it all at some point. On the next one here, you got some other figures which are highly unlikely, just based on what we've seen here for the Bucks and whatnot. Obviously, I don't think we're getting the Grey Wolf warrior right there. I don't think we've seen anything like that, but maybe, who knows? And then
the Grey Wolf is a tough one too, because I mean, Four Horsemen just released that wolf character.
Exactly.
You don't want to be, copying them. Not this short.
Right, you don't want to be considered copying or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
Or reactive. Right.
Yep.
I think they'd be better off kind of releasing one of these Wereman White Fang or Werewolf Warlord Lycran, right? Like, those are cool looking figures. Like, they would be instant buys. I would definitely be all for that.
The far left could be the one on the far right, kind of. Yeah, could be.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
I'd love to see them do. I mean, I'd love to see them do even if it's not a mount, just some kind of animal, right? Just to see what they could come up with. Whether that's like this, whatever this wolf thing is here.
Yeah.
Or even a smaller, dragon type creature that, maybe not a gigantic thing like Four Horsemen's doing, just like
right
type of character.
Like a smaller wyvern or whatever.
Yeah. Or a griffin would be awesome. I'd love to see them do a griffin.
Oh yeah. So just a couple more. I think these ones are highly unlikely, but I mean, the left one could be maybe. These are ones that, again, are on my want list at some point. And then you have some things here, right? You have the demonic imps. I don't think that's any of these here, but if any one of these could potentially be the demonic imp, I would put it in the center because it's just a little different looking at the head space.
Yeah.
So there is that possibility. And then you have Wereman's whatever that says, Shard Claw, and then you have the Beastman Warrior. So both of those I would be all in for. I think they'd be awesome, but I don't know that we're getting ready to see those just yet.
I'll be right back in just a sec.
Yeah. And then if we just go to the next slide here, we've got the, let me see if this is actually showing. I don't know if my screen changed. I think my screen's having a hard time. There it is, a little bit delayed. When Ed gets back here, you want to see all those imps? Brick, yeah. Looking at this one here, right? So originally,
That dude on the left is badass.
yeah. So originally, I had thought that there was a possibility that not originally. I guess it was like one of my second thoughts is that maybe this lesser minion Tragos was going to be maybe the middle one, maybe the guy on the left. I'm not sure. The left doesn't have the feet for it, from what I could tell. The one in the center, I didn't think had, but again, they could alter the sketch. Even the one on the right looks to be carrying the weapon similar to this Tragos one. But I thought this one probably could leverage the Jaeger buck with some alternative legs, right? Like some lower shin
Oh yeah, for
pieces.
sure.
So you can get like a 80% reuse from that
Yeah, you
buck.
could put a different head and different feet on that Jaeger buck and make this goat look
Exactly.
easily.
Exactly. And I thought that would be an interesting one. And then you have some cool other ones with Zila and then Acolyte. So, some other, goat folks. But again, no color tied to these ones in the previews. But I think, if they really wanted to go, like, and we're not paying attention to the color outlines and stuff, Tragos would be one I feel like they could reuse a large portion of their parts library today. A few more here. You've got your, Acolyte here on the left. I thought it's a little different than the previous one. And you have the Zealot of Thanatos there, which just looks like a massive bad guy, which right in the middle would be a monster house.
I like the design of that guy on the left. That looks badass too. Or the guy on
Which
the right.
one?
The far right.
The undead guy, the ghoul.
Yep.
Yeah, I thought, again, another one with a smaller buck with a little bit more uniqueness to it, where, once they finish this sculpting, that, and the way that, maybe that head and the hair at the, top right extra headpiece that they looked at, maybe that could be the one in the center with like a weird weapon and stuff. Again, it's definitely, it's definitely something I think could be, a potential figure here, but again, with the colors and the other hints, I don't know that it's aligned with that one. And then here's a couple more.
Like I said, though, like with all these concept arts, right? They have enough bucks out there now that a lot of these characters could be made using the existing bucks with different feet or different heads, different hands,
Armor.
overlays. It wouldn't be that hard for them to put these figures up.
Yeah, the only thing I would say is that with regards to the fixtures that we've seen, none of them, like, the shadows don't necessarily line up completely.
Right.
What I would love, and maybe one of my favorite ones, would be this orc right here, because that dude just looks like he could, he would be awesome to have, and he could army build that, I feel
like I said, it'd be nice to see them come out with a large scale figure, it doesn't have to be gigantic, 8, 10 inches would be, ideal, somewhere in that area, just a bigger style figure. And with their same articulation and design that they have on their smaller figures, man, it'd be so awesome.
Absolutely. And then we have some other ones. I think these are some of the last ones for my previews of the concept art here. But you can see they have the Battle Mage and then the Evil Knight. Again, these are all figures that they could easily come out with. It would just be, additional armor and weapons packs that they haven't done. But you could get away with the normal human bucks on these. But again, I don't think either one of these are highlighted in the imagery that we've seen as the hype video. Not at the concept level.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, so those are some of the other ones. Again, just previewing some things that maybe we'll see soon. Maybe for Wave 4, just a few days away now at this point. So what do you guys hope you see next, right? You can obviously see, and here you can see the the Como armor. That is the armor that is on that picture. I'm 100% confident of that. That is the armor that is being used on that blue character
Yeah.
in the promo. Without a shadow of a doubt, that's what that is. I
Yep.
mean, there's no denying that. So yeah, what do you guys want to say?
Man, I tell you, the, not like I said, now that I've had a couple of their figures in hand and gotten to play with them, the way they design those figures, the way they move, the way they pose, like it's they have such potential to just create a whole awesome universe that they're working on, So I'm excited to see what they come out with.
Yeah, absolutely. Pull up what Brick just said.
I feel the Savage need to really differentiate from everything else on the market right now. The fishmen will do that, as did those lizards. I think they should stay away from orcs, dragons, and apes. I agree. I mean, I don't think they need to do those types of characters because they've stayed away from, a lot of the stuff. Barbarians are barbarians, right? If you're going to have a fantasy world, you got to have some kind of human element to it
Yeah,
in order for people to relate. I think if they did an orc in their own style, it would be great. There are, Mythic Legions does orcs, the Medi Toys does those orcs, and there's a couple other companies doing orcs and goblin type characters. Of course, Sparrow Toys has the market on the apes, and then even Mythic, right, with the last wave, they have that hyena looking dude and the lion and the werewolf looking dude, right? So they could definitely, there's definitely enough fantasy creatures out there that they could do.
yeah,
And with the, like you said in the beginning, with the way they have the lore structured, they could have any IP enter into the Crucible without, it being, a problem. So, the
yeah.
possibilities are endless. It's just a matter of them designing characters that keep them separated from everything else that's out there.
Yeah, and I think Brick hit it on, and that's why I wanted to pull it up. Is it goes back to what I said that I've seen Rob post or talk about in some of his other streams, is that going back to the horse comment, right? Hey, are they going to make mounts? Are they going to make horses? And he's kind of like, well, it's already being done. So if we can't do it better, we don't necessarily want to cross that, right? Obviously, going back to the barbarian humans, right? Like that's just a character, right? Like that's status quo. Like you have to have that in this genre, right? But
Right.
like, they said if they can't do it better, they're not going to touch it with the mounts. I assume that same logic will be across a lot of other things.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I mean,
So if
like
they
it's
do the,
just
if
like
they
we said, right? The barbarians, they've got great human figures anyway. So I mean, like, and that's something that has to be there, right? I mean,
right,
that was one of the things a lot of people were saying when they came out with the wave one, and it was all Lumerians, right? Well, where are the human characters to fight these
right.
guys, right? Um,
Which I
and
think
now
was
they got the
smart. If we look, if real quick before you go further, I think that was a smart, like Brick said, differentiating, right?
Mhm.
Like they could have put the humans out as the wave one, but they could also get humans from your four horsemen. Why? Why?
Right.
Well, give them something unique that horsemen and others in
Yeah.
the realm aren't doing already to suck people in the quality and product.
Yep.
And then once that happens, then give them the humans so they can
Yeah.
see, oh,
If they
okay,
keep
it's
creating
different.
figures like Jaeger, right, who is humanoid, right? Definitely
Yeah,
not any kind of thing that we've seen before. I mean, similar, yes. He's inspired, got some, you can definitely tell he's inspired by, a dog type of character or
yeah.
whatever, right? But I mean, the way he's designed, his story, his weapons, his overlays and stuff make him very unique.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I think that's key, right? And what I would say is, could they do the orcs better or like a larger scale kind of monstrous orc? I
Well, that's
don't
what I was
know.
saying.
I
Like if they went towards more of a like snow giant or, you know,
right.
that type of thing, right? I mean, I think they could pull it off and
Yeah.
still keep themselves separate from what everything else that's out there. So orc in form, but keep it a snow giant or something like that, right?
Yeah. No, I agree, and I think that making themselves different is what's going to be key because they can play in this space with the peers in the industry, and the consumer benefits from it, and they can continue to focus on something unique and different while using all of the things that have really emphasized their line, the articulation points, right? Like I look at Jaeger sitting in front of me right now, and I know one of the big things for this the Four Horsemen stuff for a long time was, oh, we don't want cuts that take away from the imagery of it, right? And
Right.
I'm like, okay, well, if I'm worried about cuts, I stick to statues, right? Like for
Right. Yeah.
me, I want articulation in my figures that I can do anything with them. And I've said it from day one with my Four Horsemen, going back to one of the like original All-Star waves, I think, where I got some extra, feeder packs, and I felt the articulation was definitely not where I was hoping it would be. I know that
Yeah.
they've since come out with their 3.0 buck and stuff, which I think is good for the good for them and what they're going to be producing in the future. But like specifically talking about Savage, I think they can do things that others are doing, but it's probably in their best interest to focus on what
Oh yeah.
hasn't been
Yeah.
done.
100%.
And if they are going to do something that touches on something that's been done, do it better.
And I mean,
Again, this isn't. Go ahead.
there's no there's no doubt, right? It's no different than a lot of people that collect GI Joe collect Val, unless and Monster Force, and a lot of people that collect Mythic Legions are collecting Savage Crucible and blending them all together. Same with even AWOC, right? It's getting blended into the Mythic Legion
Yeah.
Savage Crucible line. All the third party orcs and Zezre stuff, all their gladiators and barbarians and Vikings and stuff, right? They're all getting blended in together. So you can have that, blend because they all can fit into the same
Right.
universe and still set out characters that are different from what everybody
Exactly.
else has done. So
Exactly. Like I don't think they should necessarily like. I know, like Brick said, right? AWOC's already doing them, apes and the monkeys and stuff, right? So I don't think they need to play in that space. But if you go back and read the comic, there are. And I don't know if I have it right here or not, but
I have to read this comment from Brick real quick.
yeah,
Make some new weird shit like those bat-like people in Beastmaster, but cooler looking, or an armadillo style people. If somebody did one of those bat type of people from Beastmaster, I would be all over that shit. Those things terrified me, and I loved them both at the same time in that movie.
like they have characters on the cover here, which that are part of this comic and the graphic novel from the original one, where you see Who-Man, and there's a tiger, and there's a smaller human, and then there's another gladiator looking dude, and then there's a big rock stone looking dude. So like there's a lot of opportunity to just take from their comic lore and expand on it. Like there's even a gorilla ape guy in there in the comic from what I remember from early
Yeah.
on. And then, as I'm flipping through, there's a lot of options. I don't want to see them go and, necessarily replicate what we can already get from the Animal Warriors of Kingdom line, right? But like
Yeah.
I'm not opposed to them creating the tiger if it's in line with what I've seen in their graphic novel, right? Like in their space, their version of it. I'm all for that. Like, and I don't want to say in that case do it better, but like, do it in your way, the way you do it.
Yeah.
So
100%. I mean, they definitely need to, keep doing stuff that's original, as long as it fits into that world, right? I mean,
right.
and they got enough ideas and enough cool stuff that it would be easy for them to, you know, pull it out. I'll pull it off without
Yeah.
a problem. So
Yeah, and I mean the thing is, like that tiger, the buck would be larger than what they've done, for the Who-Man and for the other figures. It's definitely like looking at the comic, he's towers over him,
oh yeah,
like significantly. But like there's quite a bit of different characters just in this book that they kind of centered around, which would be really, really cool to see, any one of them, even some of the, you know, the side characters on here. There's just so much opportunity, and I'm really excited to see what they bring forth for Wave 4. I think it might be one of the most exciting waves and items that I've been following the last couple of years, just because we haven't seen anything wave wise announced. It's always been like a one-off release and stuff
Right.
here. So like, I'm very interested in what's coming next. So yeah, sorry, I'm like geeking out looking at my
That's right.
stuff, and I'm actually going to the back of the book, and in the back of the book they have some additional. Oh,
Yeah, Yeah, like Brick makes a point here, like Fury Planet, Fury Planet's tiger, for example, stands out from AWOC's tiger. You just got to differentiate, right? And it's
There's some concept art in the back of the book, and there happens to be an archer back there. It's a vampire archer,
oh,
and they have a vampire knight.
that would be cool. A vampire archer. That would be absolutely amazing.
Yeah, that would be cool. And then there's like the Lion Battle Master. If they came out with this guy, that is an
Yeah.
awesome looking dude.
Yep.
So, yeah, love my Savage Crucibles. But that said, that's going to be a wrap on tonight's Savage Crucible deep dive, which I really enjoyed. I love talking about that stuff, the excitement of what could be. Hopefully, you guys did too. Before we wrap up here, I do want to call out kind of what we're looking at doing next, right? So the next time we go on live here, we're going to be tackling something real, right? Something we've all felt at some point. It's called plastic shame.
I've never
hiding
felt it.
figures, hiding figures under your bed, downplaying pre-orders to your partner, or pretending that the toy box isn't yours at the checkout. We're gonna dig into the stigma, laugh at the fails, and celebrate the culture. Flip from closet collector to full-on display kings. So definitely tune in next time. I think we're shooting for October 14th is the next date, and we'll be focusing on 2 weeks from now, going over the plastic shame. So you flex or do you hide?
Be on the lookout in case we do a pop-up show next week. It might not be
Yeah.
Tuesday. It could be Wednesday, depending on, if the Monster Force shows up. We'll definitely do a pop-up show and put it up there.
Yeah, and who knows? Maybe during that we might do a review of the Wave 4 items from Savage Crucible announcement. Since it's all kind of tied around that same period. So,
Yep.
Definitely do a little deep dive into what we're here. I'll definitely have my ears to the ground over the course of the next few days because that's like Thursday, Friday my time. So,
Yep.
go into the future and see what they're doing over there. But other than that, Ed, was there anything on the chat we needed to throw up?
No, I covered everybody. I'd like to thank everybody for participating. Brian saying Monster Force can't wait. Yeah, I've been waiting a long time, and I'm fine with waiting because they're not taking any of my money up front. But yeah, I'm definitely excited. They've done a good job the last two releases to kind of hit them right at Halloween time. So it's perfect. So
Yeah.
Hoping that my charge gets done in the next few days, and then they can get them shipped over. So
Absolutely. And Brick, yes, I did receive that Ox Crew set in the mail. It's in the box, and it's being shipped out to the winner of the Toyvember contest from last year. We covered that in the first couple minutes of the show tonight. I think maybe before you joined. So I moved on from the Cosmic Legions, not because I don't like them, but it just didn't fit into my space of where I was playing. I prefer my people to throw sticks and stones, not shoot laser beams and stuff. So I've
backed away
focus.
from a lot of the Cosmics too, just because between the Monster Force, which is my biggest get, and then Savage and a couple of the other kind of oddball things that I collect. It's I had to slow down somewhere, so
Yeah.
I had to pick a couple of lines that I just was collecting because they were cool, but not really doing much with as far as photography goes. So,
which figure is that? Oh, okay, yeah. I could see that. I just looked it up, Brick. Yeah, I could see that for sure.
And Brian saying, "Yeah, great for him. Yeah, that's a hell of a prize to win." So, we will post a link to the October thing that starts tomorrow on the ACBA. And I know, Brick, you've been kind of going through a slowdown yourself, just trying to back off some of, there's so much cool stuff out there. It's really hard to pick and choose, but sometimes you just gotta make yourself do it. So,
I'm trying to find that post, but I'm having a hard time right off the top of my head. I gotta find that. There was a post little while ago on it,
Yeah,
but
I
we'll
think
find
you
that.
have,
We'll get it
it's in
shared.
one of our chats, Travis. You sent
Oh
it to
yeah,
me.
yeah. It's definitely in there somewhere. So I shared it with you saying, "Hey, we
Yeah.
should do this and compete on it." So yeah, awesome. So I think that's it for this week, folks. Thank you for tuning in. And I know it's been a few weeks, but we look forward to getting back with you either maybe, on short notice next week, but definitely on the 14th of October. And
Yep.
until then, as they say, stay wonderful.
Step up, strike a pose, it's the ToyLeet crew. From X stacks to toy vendor, yeah, we break through. Unbox the fire, showcase the find. Collectors worldwide, all one of a kind. ToyLeet, we set the pace. Elite with the heat in this plastic race. ToyLeet, not just a name, we're the culture, the vibe, the collecting flame. Click, snap, pose, it's more than display. We stack with style, redefining play. Custom builds, epic drops, from stream to shelf, we never stop. ToyLeet, it's not just toys, it's legacy we stack. ToyLeet's the movement, and we're never looking back.